Thanksgiving. I'm really ecstatic. I finished my Christmas shopping today. I got to tell you about this thing because this is brand new off the press. I own a judgment against a businessman. I levied on his bank, and lo and behold, he had a safe deposit box. We drilled open the safe deposit box, and there were about 67 items of expensive jewelry, watches, and stuff. I used part of the judgment and bid on it and got it. Tonight, my wife is at home looking at it. I've got a 2-carat diamond ring. I've got a 1-carat diamond ring. You guys saw it, right? Tiffany's. I've got an earring that's also a diamond earring. I've got a Lemania watch. Anybody here into watches? I am. I love watches. I invest in watches. A Lemania watch, and that watch is about a 1950s watch. It's worth about $5,000. I got that today. And then I got an Omega Seamaster DeVille. And then I got a Gucci. And then I got, it keeps going on. This is the most exciting business that I fell into 17 years ago. See, I was a real estate investor too. I owned a financial planning firm in Pasadena. I got bored. I wanted something exciting. Plus, I didn't want to be in real estate the regular way. How many of you here are landlords? I know that I used to own a few properties. Sold them before 2008. I'm no longer in the property. Ed, you and I have a good friend, Marshall. He used to own a lot of real estate, right? I don't really own that. Mine has moved, by the way, to Asia. Okay? I sold and I moved to Asia. There are rumors, Jay, that I bought mango plantations.
Oh, there's rumors you expanded that mango.
Yes, there's rumors too. Landlords get ripped off every year by bad tenants, don't you?
Yep.
And when you win a judgment, you take them to court, the courts don't help you enforce that, right? Because you have to enforce it yourself. I will teach you how to enforce that, find their assets, and have a Merry Christmas. I kid you not. Calvin Lynn is here. Calvin, is it okay if I call you by your name?
Sure.
I just did. Calvin is one of my early students. Back in 2015, he took my course. By the way, Calvin's one of the best guys that I know. Calvin took my course, paid me an ungodly amount of money for my course. Right, Calvin? I mean, I charged him up the wazoo. But I promised him that if he followed my system, that he would recover that. And then he brought a case to me. Remember that case? And we enforced that judgment. We yanked $9,000 out of her checking account, didn't we? And he got paid. My youngest son is 20 years old. He wanted to come, but I told him he had to go to school. He just cashed 2 checks, one for $1,800, one for $1,900, and he works 12 hours a month. So judgment enforcement is a wonderful business. There are so many ways that we make money in judgment enforcement. But before we get started, how do I move this forward? Because I'm not a tech.
Oh. The button on the right goes forward.
I think I just went through that. Okay. Thank you. Stick around, because I'm going to expand on this concept. Scotty, you got to stick around and listen to this.
I'm here.
Scotty and I box at the same boxing gym, and we've never sparred, have we?
Lucky me.
Huh?
Lucky me.
No, we've never sparred because I'm too old.
No, you're good. No.
There's some astonishing facts I got to share with you guys about judgments. Number one, quick fact. Fact number one, Los Angeles Superior Court, I'm going to talk about Los Angeles Superior Court today, is the largest court system in the world. Right, Greg?
Yes, sir.
By the way, Orange County Court is slightly less than that. Los Angeles Superior Court produces over $600,000 in money judgments, small claims, money judgments, every day. Every day. Fact number 3, Los Angeles Superior Court has over $7.2 trillion in uncollected and unenforced money judgments right now. 7.2. Orange County, probably half of that. But look at fact number 4. There are very few judgment enforcement specialists in the entire state of California. At a recent conference, we figured that there are probably less than 1,000 people in this business. But look at the market. And that's just Los Angeles Superior Court. I've got a little bit of that, 7.2 trillion. But I also have judgments in Northern California. I have judgments because there is such a need for people to come and help those who have judgments. It's a tremendous opportunity. Here's what I really love. Number 1, I have no competitors. Okay? I was concerned when Steve Love asked me to teach a course back in 2015. And I said, you know, the reason why I've never taught it is because I didn't want competition. And I figured there's no competition. I mean, I'm just talking about $7.2 trillion of unenforced judgments in Los Angeles Superior Court. There's Ventura, there's San Bernardino, there's Riverside, there's all sorts of counties. But just in Southern California, we have the largest pool of judgments available to be enforced. All you got to do is know how to do it. And if my 20-year-old son can do it, I guarantee you anybody can do it. Okay? Tons of available judgments. Great referral business. Let me tell you about what happened this morning. And Gabby and Alex here know what happened. So I'm waiting there for the auction to begin, right? That's the one where I did my Christmas shopping this morning. I get a call from the judgment debtor. The judgment debtor calls me up and says, Mr. Isidro, can I pay you $1,500 a month? I said, sure. Because I take money. So I'm picking up $1,500 from him tomorrow. And he said, you know, Mr. Isidro, I really appreciate the fact that you're very professional, which I am. And you're very friendly, which I am. Could you help me on something? I said, yeah, what's the problem? I have a $25,000 judgment against a businessman who won't pay me. This is the greatest referral business in the world. Greatest referral business. I get referrals all the time. You know, our association, been around for 20 years. We only have 85 members. That's a small association. And yet, this is the greatest business in the world because you can build an annuity, a multi-million-dollar annuity. And I'm going to share with you how I do that. The ability to build a monthly income stream. That guy's going to be paying me $1,500 a month for the next 10 months. I've got somebody else. Oh, you're going to love this. There's an attorney. Jay, you hearing this? This attorney owes me $48,000. This attorney happens to work for the California Attorney General's office. You ever heard of that? I'm yanking $2,500 a month out of his paycheck until the judgment's paid. I call those love letters. I've got a couple in my briefcase. They came in before we left. I get love letters all the time. Checks. Tons of checks. You have the ability to build a monthly income stream. You work once and you get paid a lot. Most people drive by a courthouse and shudder. Do you? You probably do, right? I drive by a courthouse and I see dollars. I was at Torrance Courthouse, picking up my jewelry. Right after, by the way, Alex, right after I walked out of the place with my jewelry, another bidder came up and said, I'll give you $8,000 cash right now for everything that you have. I said 15, he drove away. Judgment enforcement is If you want to build a business, judgment enforcement can make you a ton of money. But you got to do it the right way, and I can teach you how. All right. A money judgment is essentially this. Let's say that Steve and I are in business together. I get angry at Steve. I sue him. I win a judgment of $500,000 against Steve. That's a money judgment. But all that is a piece of paper that says that you are owed $500,000 judgment. The next step is to go after Steve, find his assets, find his weak points, and then nail him. Like Calvin and I did with this woman. This woman did not know what hit her. She said, you pulled all the money out of my checking account. Some of that was my grandchildren. I said, thank you very much. Tell them thanks. Because she owed the money. I have the legal right to take whatever is in her account. So that's what a judgment is. All right. I love case studies because case studies reveal how things are done. The original judgment creditor, that's what OJC stands for, is a non-English speaking woman who works as a maid. She doesn't speak English. She got ripped off by the JD, who operated in Encino a maid service and a nanny service company. You guys ever heard of those? Mm-hmm. All right. It's a sole proprietorship. The OJC sued in small claims in Chatsworth Court. It was for less than $5,000. I'm going to show you the small amount because I don't want to freak you out with the $900,000 judgments that we get. Okay? But this was for $5,000. What tool did I use to get myself $5,000? I use a bank levy. All a bank levy is I send the sheriff and then they tap on a certain day and take all the money that you have in your checking account, business account, whatever account you have. Do that every single day. I also use a judgment debtor exam or order to appear. This is the nuclear option. And I teach you how to perform one of these. Very few judgment enforcement specialists do that. I'm one of the ones that does it routinely. I have a student who, he couldn't be here tonight, but he wanted me to tell you guys that when he started this business, he knew absolutely nothing, but today he got himself about a monthly check. He's part-time of $10,000 a month. And I said, don't quit until you're making 20 grand a month. Okay? That's how much money Jeff makes in this business. But he uses a judgment debtor exam. You hear that, Greg? But there's a way to use this tool. And I teach my students how to use it. Because if you have a hammer, you can use it, but there's a certain way to throw that hammer, isn't there? Well, I show my students how to use this tool. Here's what happened. The bank levy was not effective because the original judgment creditor did not keep a lot of money in her checking account. Most small business owners do not keep money in their business accounts. They strip it every Friday. The original judgment creditor lived in Santa Barbara. She had a manager who handled the day-to-day affairs of the business. She only came down on Fridays. Because I knew that she came down to her office on Fridays to pick up the money, my registered process server served the judgment debtor on a Friday. Okay? Now how did I do that? Because I was sneaky. I called up and said, I need 4 nannies because I have 5 children. And I don't want to, hire anybody unless I talk to the boss. I want to see you eyeball to eyeball to see if I can trust you. She said, yes, come on down, let's make an appointment. So I came down and my RPS comes in, are you so-and-so? Yes. Your servant. Okay. Immediately, she wrote a check for the full judgment amount. Why? Because she was so concerned about having to drive down to court from Santa Barbara. She was so concerned that I would nail her on one of my judgment debtor exams. By the way, if you lie during a judgment debtor exam, there is a good possibility that I will ask the court to hold you in contempt and to throw you in jail overnight to think about it. Can I do it? Yes, I can. That's how I get paid. She didn't want to drive down. She didn't want to have to answer. Because everybody makes a mistake. And I nail people when they make mistakes. I'm a nice guy, but when it comes down to getting my money, I will steamroll a judgment debtor. Case number 2, OJC is an individual. The judgment debtor is dad and daughter. Daughter ran dad's car into the judgment creditor, damaging their car. Now, the judgment debtor owns a single-family residence. So the OJC sued the JD in 2000, small claims, okay, in West Covina. And the judgment was for less than $5,000, Steve. That's small claims, okay? The tools that I use to enforce a judgment, here it is. If you want to write one phrase down, write this down. Abstract of judgment, okay? Abstract of judgment. I also use the threat of the judgment debtor exam. And I also said, I have a beautiful letter. It's called intent to foreclose. I'll get into that in a second. I also was threatening to cancel the driver's license. By the way, did you know that if you are in an accident and then you're sued and then you lose and you have a judgment against you as a result of an accident on California Street, that I can cancel your driver's license? Now you know, right? Just that little threat, because we live in Southern California, we don't have that. We're not in New York. People don't want their driver's license canceled. I've got a lady coming in tomorrow because I told her, I said, you know, you gotta show me the money. I'm canceling your driver's license. So here's what happened in this case. At the JDX ORAP, the dad was very confrontational. Love it when people get mad at me. He told me that I was messing with the wrong guy. I gently informed him that I had the power to cancel the California driver's licenses. Dad and daughter offered to make payments of $150 a month. Now, I took that small amount, here's why. The dad was unemployed. How was he going to pay me, right? The daughter worked for a fast food company. I think it's McDonald's. And out of her paycheck, she's paying me $150 a month. Because she didn't want her driver's license canceled. 6 months later, this is so cool, I'm so happy for them, they send me Christmas cards now. Kid you not, they send me Christmas cards. She calls me up, she moves to Las Vegas because she's going to get married, and she calls me up and says, how much do I need to pay you in order to get out of this judgment? Because if you have a judgment against your credit report, you know how much that dings you? About 100 to 200 points. So if you value your FICO, you won't let a judgment go against you. Okay? So she wanted to buy a house. She couldn't qualify because her FICO was in the toilet. So guess what? I told her, this is the amount, pay me. She overnighted me the money. I released it, and they bought a house. Hopefully I'll be able to see them when I go to speak in Vegas. Okay? Number 3. The original judgment creditor is a printing business, a corporation. I love the next phrase. I specialize in going after attorneys. Any attorneys here? I go after you guys.
They don't want to identify themselves now.
I'm with the United States Tax Court.
What's that?
I'm with the U.S. Tax Court.
You are with the U.S. even more. IRS people have a special place in my heart. Government people, oh yes.
They told us we cannot owe anybody.
That's right. And this Attorney General, I don't know why he still has his job.
I don't either.
Because he should not, I should be garnishing his wages. Because he's an attorney, he's an attorney with the Attorney General's office. Right, Jay? Because most attorneys, if you have a judgment against you, you're in trouble with what? The Bar Association. Not the drinking one, but the one that attorneys go to. All right. So the JD is an attorney. Watch this. The OJC sued the JD in Small Claims Burbank for more than $5,000. The tool that I use, a simple bank letter. The JD attorney screams when I take his money. He screams and he threatens to take me to court. He was going to file all sorts of stuff against me. And he accused me of lying to the judge. Why did he feel so heartily about that? Because he had money with his ex-wife in an account that I took all the money from. So I asked him, why are you holding money with your ex-wife? And number two, does your wife know? Because Mr. Attorney, I have the legal right to subpoena your financial records and your wife and your ex-wife all at the same time to answer questions, and we'll have a party in the courthouse. By the way, I've done that. I have subpoenaed exes to come in to answer questions regarding the finances of their ex. If you've never been in that kind of situation, it is like a comedy show. I just had a case recently where the judgment debtor was trying to hide the judgment from his wife, not ex, from his wife. Well, his wife came to court. And I asked the wife, did you know that your husband has this judgment against him? No. I said, and I turned to the judgment debtor, I said, why didn't you tell her? Well, my business is my business. And then I turned to her and I said, is that true? No. This is a fun business. Now, by the way, he paid $4,500 down and a $10,000 judgment. Okay? He's paying money. A little gentle persuasion. So this attorney gets so mad at me and accuses me of lying to a judge, and he never calls me again. He just goes away. Because he knew that I had it. Right, Jay? He knew that I had it. The original judgment creditor was happy when I cut them a check for their portion of the judgment. He refers another case to me against another lawyer. Okay? I enforce that other judgment. I love going after lawyers, especially because they have, what is that account that you gotta have, Jay, if you're a practicing attorney? Oh yeah, it's called a trust account. Trust me, I love trust accounts. Sitting ducks, low-hanging fruit. From time to time, here's the fun part. From time to time, a judgment debtor that makes me mad will be on my hit list. Because I will look for judgments against them for the rest of their natural life. Let me repeat that. People who cross me, I will look for judgments against them. Twice a year, I will look. If there's a judgment against that person, I will then buy that judgment. And then I will enforce it. You ever heard of that, Greg?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we do that all the time. Okay? Case number 4. I love this story because this was a case where a very arrogant attorney didn't want to pay. Retired. Lives in Rancho Mirage. Man, what a gorgeous place that he had. So my RPS and I, one Saturday morning, because I had set up a judgment debtor exam for him, we drove all the way out to Rancho Mirage. We're sitting there, and we asked to serve the paper, and the guards keep us waiting for 20 minutes. Well, you know what they're doing, right? They're calling the judgment debtor and warning them that we're there. Okay? Because we have to serve the papers personally. Okay? No one answers at the door. So the RPS and I go to the clubhouse for breakfast. One of the benefits of this thing is that that's all a write-off. So we go to the clubhouse, have a nice breakfast. An hour later, we go back to the house. Lo and behold, the lights are on. The first time, no lights were on. And the wifey is in the kitchen preparing breakfast. So we walk up to the door, we knock on the door, she comes out, and we ask for so-and-so. She says, no one here by that name, no one lives here. At that very same moment, this is so funny, I still can remember it. I'm standing behind my RPS, and RPS is standing there, and out comes Sheldon, that's his first name. I won't tell you his last name. Sheldon walks out a door, and then he starts walking down the hallway. My RPS yells out, hey, Sheldon! Yes? Your servant. See, this is a fun business. I enjoy it. I don't always wear a suit. I only wear it for you guys. Okay? Today I wore a really crummy outfit, didn't I, guys? Really filthy. I mean, I look like I'm destitute. I like that. The OJC, okay, is so appreciative that see, people are scared of attorneys. This OJC was a client of this attorney. And the OJC was scared to even call the attorney for his money. Believe it or not, you attorneys, you guys have this aura about you. Okay? I mean, I don't like it, but the point is that people are scared of attorneys. Attorneys, when they call me and I'm going after one of their clients, Mr. Isidro, Mr. So-and-so, I say, how you doing, man? How's it going? Oh, what do you need? Oh, yeah, you gotta pay. I deliberately talk like I'm an idiot. Because attorneys like to be Mr. or Mrs. Precise, right? Because that's what you're trained. Hey, I know that because my sister's an attorney. Every time I talk to my sister, it's like I'm in a depot. My brother-in-law is even worse. He's a law professor. He teaches criminal law. And he always likes, we never have a conversation. He always asks questions. That's what's taught in law school, isn't it? The Socratic dialogue, right? So I know attorneys. Attorneys have this aura. This guy was so appreciative that he cried when I met with him because he was so scared. Yes, ma'am?
When you collect on these judgments, what portion of the judgment do you get versus the OJC gets? Like if it was a $5,000 judgment, how much are they getting, how much are you getting? Or is there interest added on?
Excellent question. Is there interest? Yes. Who gets the interest? Me. Okay? I keep all the interest. My contract reads, if it's a $40,000 judgment and it's 5 years old, it's 10%, by the way, per year in California. You know that, right? 10% per year. Simple interest. Okay? After 5 years, that's $20,000 in interest. That's all mine. And then the 40, we split 50-50. So I make 40 grand. Okay? Now, let me just, I got to share this with you because one of my students just sent me an email. This student of mine is in Honolulu. If you ever get to Honolulu, look Derek up. He is dominating the entire Honolulu market when it comes to judgments. Derek attended my class in Honolulu last summer. And for 2 years, he tried this business with zero success. And so I sat down with him. I said, okay, first of all, pay me. He paid me. I said, then do this, 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 and this. The first month he goes out and does it, he gets himself an $85,000 deal, and he starts enforcing it right away. He just sent me a letter, not a letter, but an email. Mr. Gray, tell all the people out there that this really does work. See, he just got paid this past week about $7,500. His goal is to get paid about $5 a week. Does he have competition? He has no competition in Honolulu. And here's why. Because very few people know about judgment enforcement in Honolulu. Okay? Here's another thing. I think at this point, what time do we have? Because I'm opening it up for questions. What time are we supposed to be done? 12 midnight?
9.
Oh, 9. I was 12 midnight. My son and I brought our camping gear. Let me tell you another story of one of my brand new, she hasn't enforced a judgment yet, but she's about to. Melody lives in Ventura. You guys know Melody, right? Melody is in her mid-60s. She's the sweetest person you can ever meet. Okay? And she got into this business. So she calls me up a couple of weeks ago and said, Mr. Gray, I am so ecstatic. I said, okay, what is it? Unless it's a diamond ring, I don't get that ecstatic. She goes, I'm getting a $150,000 judgment. Okay, that's good. But there's a debtor in jail or dead or whatever. No, he owns one of the biggest houses in Ventura. That's a debtor. And I said, do you need help? She said, no, I'm going to do this all on my own. And I said, you're going to make a lot of money. Because that guy has a ton of money. But here's the point. One of the most important things about this business is you got to have somebody to teach you. And it's a difficult business if you don't have a system.